Ooh, a Pat CC?
Imagine one morning
How extreme home makeover destroyed families?
you wake up to this guy screaming
Oh, is this the show? And this is the show where he comes in, he's like, hey, I can change your life.
outside of your house into a megaphone. You walk outside to find out that he is with a television crew and they are sending you and your family on a 1-week vacation, and during that time he is going to demolish your home and build you a brand new one from the ground up. Although it's pretty obnoxious, it sounds like a pretty good deal, right? Well, it is a good deal until it's not. Foreclosures, angry community members, property tax increases, bills doubling to tripling, and even more family struggles. Many of the families that were featured on Extreme Makeover Home Edition ended up worse off than before Ty Pennington.
Bills! What do you mean? Huh? No shot they're paying for, like, the shit they put in. Maybe they're paying, like, if you have a pool, maybe you have to pay for, like, cleaning shit. Maybe they didn't help them out with that. Maybe they didn't help out with, like, pool equipment or whatever, you know. But what the fuck? Hold on.
Showed up on
What is
their
going on here?
doorstep. But to fully understand how some families were
going on?
negatively affected by what seems to be a very generous gift, we must first take a look at the families that were carefully chosen to get these home remodels. Typically, individuals would fill out an application form on the ABC website, which required them to provide a story of why they deserved a new house. You could also nominate another family, such as a friend or a member of your community. Every episode starts with a story of the deserving family in need, such as a family that lost their mother or father, a family with a disabled child, a family that's living in poverty, or a family affected by a natural disaster. Since this was a reality television show, it was very important to produce the most tear-jerking episodes possible, featuring stories that would deeply tug at the viewer's heartstrings. Some people argued that specifically targeting families who had endured unimaginable tragedy and faced overwhelming hardship was ABC exploiting them for better ratings. Joe Scarborough of MSNBC claimed that Extreme Makeover has a secret wish list of victims the show is trying to hunt down. They want to find a family who has multiple children with
Wish
Down
list.
syndrome. They want to find a child with a rare condition that causes rapid aging and death. They want to find an extraordinary mom or dad who's diagnosed with Lou Gehrig's disease. Now, if the show was aggressively targeting these people, sure, that's a bit weird, especially because it's likely for the TV ratings and not for charity. However,
Right.
it is still a good deed. Plus, if they helped out middle-class families or ones that seemed like they weren't that bad off, they would be criticized for not focusing on a more deserving family. I don't
True.
think Home Makeover is taking advantage of the families. However, I do think that monthly subscription sites take advantage of you and know that most people forget to cancel their subscriptions. Well, today's sponsor, Rocket
That's pretty
Money,
true.
is here to help.
That is absolutely... that is true as fuck.
To save more,
But, yeah, that is weird. That probably was always, like, a double-ended sword for them, for the show. It was probably always like, you're always giving it to these people, but what about these people? And it's like, yeah, but, like, what about these people? Like, you know? Like, either way you look at it, it's like, you could help this guy. At least you helped, you know what I mean? Like, hopefully it was just all for the right reasons. That's all it really comes down to.
upload a photo of your bill, and let them do the rest. To save more and spend less, join the 3.4 million users using Rocket Money. I've got the hookup. Go to rocketmoney.com/PatrickCC or click the link in the description to get started for free or unlock even more features with premium. That's rocketmoney.com/PatrickCC to get started for free. Get your money right. Once the participants were selected, the crew would treat the families to a fully funded vacation to destinations such as Hawaii, California, or Florida. During the family's trip, ABC would rally hundreds of contractors, construction workers, and volunteers in the local community to help. Sometimes they would even make Facebook pages so all their neighbors could stay up to date. Oftentimes, the volunteers are critical for the house getting completed on time. Then, Ty Pennington would video call the family and show his crew absolutely destroying their house. Sometimes they would take it too far. Take the Rapati Pierce family, for example. The mother and father were both police officers, and one tragic night, Christina was shot during a foot pursuit, which led to her being paralyzed from the waist down. So they hired the LA SWAT team to place bombs inside of the house, detonate them, then drive a massive battering ram attached to an armored truck to destroy the house. Now obviously they have to do demolition to rebuild a new house from the ground up, but it would still be a bit traumatic to watch your home filled with all those
Right. Now it's kind of... They made it seem like they were getting swatted. That's kind of... That is one of those that feels like Ashton Kutcher would come out. And he'd be like, you got punked, bro. He'd be like, sorry about your house, and then he'd run off. Like, that, that's something.
Memory.
I was just imagining, like, OG scenario. It's just them with a sledgehammer beating. The scenario that comes in my mind is they're, like, on vacation. They send them away. They FaceTime them. They Skype them. Whatever the fuck was going around this year. And then you just see some dude just bap, bap, bap. And they're, like, chandelier shattered everywhere. The wall is straight bopped.
These get smashed
This man said, hey, you're getting raided.
to a million pieces. But the ridiculousness didn't stop there. Remember, this is reality TV. Just building a very practical, standard, and modest home wouldn't be
You're
good
getting
enough.
raided.
So the carpenters and designers were
Other Rust players would get on the soonest flight
pushed to
back.
create increasingly elaborate designs and gimmicks to boost
raiding,
ratings,
no.
such as this airplane-themed bedroom with bags of peanuts as curtains, this very small backyard that was converted to a miniature go-kart track.
See,
How
this is
many
what I
trips
mean.
around that go-kart track would
See, this is what I mean. This is cool, but you've created such an inconvenience with them. Like, that is cool. But if someone's not, like, financially or even, like, personally ready for it, I guess, like, family ready, like, what if the mom's not coming? You know, like, there's just a lot of things at play here.
a kid be able to do before they get absolutely sick of it? Why not a playroom with a
Yeah, true. Like, and when you're a kid and you get some big shit like that, like a trampoline. Actually, I don't know if that's a good. I use my trampoline quite a bit. Not like every day. It was like every week. I was on that thing for sure at a certain age. But then at another age, it straight disappeared, man. Like, you find something else, you move on. Like a ball pit. I love a good ball pit. But let's be honest, man. I'm going in that ball pit once a week, and then that once a week turns into like once a month, you know?
ball pit containing 27,000 plastic balls, and my personal favorite, a teenager's room entirely made out of duct tape.
Desk. I have a bedspread and a pillowcase made out of duct tape.
The designers would take one small facet of their personality and dedicate the entire bedroom to it. Like this toddler who said he wants to be a cardiologist when he grows up, so they put EKG signals on the walls and a dresser designed to look like a human heart. Rooms like this seem very difficult to age in, and the tacky designs would actually take a
Oh yeah, this looks like some shit you get like in an Airbnb that's trying to be special by the beachside, you know?
This seemed very difficult to age in, and the tacky designs would actually take a considerable amount of effort to change. But sometimes it wasn't just tasteless designs. They would actually create new
What the this man, what
tasteless
the?
designs. They would actually
A
create
dino.
new responsibilities that the family may not have even wanted. For
Right.
example, this teenager got a jacuzzi
Right.
that took up half the bedroom. Could you imagine your room constantly smelling like hot chlorine?
Yeah, brother, in the room? They like, if they rebuilt the house or added another room, couldn't they just added this to another room? Or just throw it outside and then make like a little patio cover? Why the fuck it is?
Took up half the bedroom. Could you imagine your room constantly smelling
Why?
like hot chlorine water? The cost to
Why?
maintain a jacuzzi is only about $20 to $40 per month in sanitizer and chemicals, but even doing
See, this is the shit I was talking about at the beginning. Like, you don't even think of this until you get it. You're like, ah.
$40 per month in sanitizer and chemicals, but even doing the maintenance is a burden that maybe nobody wanted. Just draining that water every 3 to 4 months like you're supposed to would be incredibly
I would never.
inconvenient. Another thing they did often was add huge fish tanks or animal habitats, like this boy's room that looks like the reptile section at a pet store, complete with frogs, turtles, and lizards. Buying pet food, supplies.
And they bought PetSmart for this sucker. It
section
just
at a
put
pet
it in his room.
store, complete with frogs, turtles, and lizards. Buying pet foods.
Hey, which is pretty cool. But that's man, there's only a fine like amount of people that could tend to this many different animals. Like, you gotta feed them different things. Yeah, the habitats, they got them set up at least. That's cool. But then you gotta clean the habitat. Like, god damn.
Supplies, and cleaning the tanks is even more important because it will literally kill the animal if you don't. Extreme Home Makeover
True.
inserting new
Like, it's fucking
responsibility
crazy.
onto you without your choice isn't only annoying, for some people it created even more problems and financial stress that ultimately forced them to move out of their homes. Now, most of the time, ABC would entirely pay off the home for the family. However, owning a home is more than just paying the mortgage. Expenses such as property taxes, utilities, and home maintenance add up extremely quickly. There have been multiple reports of families whose expenses doubled, if not tripled, within the first year of living there. The Dickinson family went from an 1,800 square foot ranch to a 6-bedroom, 4-bathroom, 4,000 square foot super home equipped with cutting edge technology. Six-bedroom, 4-bath.
Oh, this looks like some shit I see just walking around the block. Like my block. Not my block. A couple blocks down. Like maybe I'd see some shit like this. But this?
To a 6-bed.
This looks straight like... This looks like from Django when he's yelling down from the rafter.
Equipped with cutting edge technology.
Like what the hell?
So it's only natural
That's not the same house.
to assume that the bills would go up.
That's crazy.
Their electric bill alone went from about $200 per month to as high as $600
I didn't even think
after.
of that.
Their property taxes tripled. The wife India said she wasn't worried. My husband works and I work, so if I have to work another job to help keep it up, that's what I'll do. But as the years went on, it got worse and worse. And in October of 2016, William filed a Chapter 13 bankruptcy petition to save his home from foreclosure. He had only $5 in cash, $287 in a checking account, and $15 in a joint savings account at the time of filing. However, it seems like they never lost the house, because on 2022 Google Maps you can see William and his daughter standing outside the front door proud of their estate. But that situation was nothing compared to the Oakvath family. The Oakvaths were from Gilbert, Arizona, and their story began with a heartfelt letter from their daughter Cassandra, who requested the show to renovate the cancer ward where she had been a patient. Touched by Cassandra's selfless request, the producers not only granted her wish, but also surprised the family of 9 with a 2-story mansion. The construction involved a massive team of 1,600 contractors and volunteers that garnered attention from across the state. Unfortunately, this wasn't happily ever after. Utility costs reached $1,200 for electricity per month and $400 per month for water. Property taxes increased from $1,600 pre-makeover to $5,600 after. Brian lost his job and was battling depression. With no other immediate solution,
That's
they used their
fucking
house as
insane.
collateral to take out a $405,000 loan. It was an adjustable rate mortgage, and the payments became too much for the family to handle. This was their dream home, and they knew they couldn't
Jeez.
afford it. Craziest part
That's
is
a nice
they never
home.
even asked for this in the
Oh, that is a nice ass home though. Like, it's pretty nice. This reminds me of like some shit you'd see in like the Mexico or the Italy.
part is they never even asked for this in the first place.
Man, I've been watching a lot of like Italian movies lately, like The God, or not like Italian movies. Well, I guess The Godfather is like, yeah, but like just movies shot in Italy, like spaghetti westerns, La Vita Bella, Godfather. Bro, that shit makes me want to go. Like, it reminds me of Mexico, but with pasta. I like pasta. Like, I don't know, man. It just seems nice. Like,
They never even asked for this in
the scenery out there, like, holy shit.
the first place. The ironic part about these situations is that people's first instinct is to doubt the families. Why couldn't they figure it out? Why not get another job? Why didn't they just sell the house? Most of the time, nobody wants to buy these homes. The Oakvaths listed their house for $1.8 million, then slowly started to lower the price over the next year. Out of desperation, they ended up selling for $540K, just enough to break even on their loan and maybe put a down payment on a new place. The Beach family have been trying to sell their home since February 2013. The price tag started at $700,000 and is now down to $535,000. They say they've had to sell because the upkeep of the house is just too much now. It's a unique home and will take a unique person to buy it. Most critics forget the reason these families got these homes were because they were struggling in the first place. Many of them had pre-existing debt. Some of them weren't even homeowners in the first place. They were renting the house and ABC bought it and built them a new one. Combine these money issues with the family trauma they were all experiencing, and it's a recipe for disaster. From my research, every single family that sold their house sold it for less than what it cost to build. But no matter what reason they chose to sell their house, they face backlash from the community. Since each home is a community project with hundreds of volunteers, they look at the home like a gift from their neighbors. The Hassel family decided to sell just 3 years later because it was too much stress to handle. Then a publication interviewed members of the community to see how they feel. A lot of people gave time, product, and services. Some are very angry. Some I've run into have asked, Why do they deserve it?
Hey!
There was even a letter written to the local newspaper that titled, "The entire Hassel family story is a disgrace and humiliation to this community." The Harper family's house foreclosed, and the mayor's response was, "It's aggravating. It just makes you mad. You do that much work, and they just squander it." Because he helped vault a massive beam into place in the Harper's living room. The Nicholas family received a home after the father died from contracting hepatitis C when he was pricked with a patient's contaminated needle. 9 years later, the home was foreclosed because the mother could not manage the previous...
I mean, yeah, this is like, really, people need to chill out. Like, they got these homes for a reason. Like, they were struggling. And then they gave them a home that is like mega, that they're not even ready for. This is like if I went to go sign up for like a Lamborghini pink slip mall contest or whatever, brother, I could not walk away with that Lamborghini and be okay. Impossible. Like, I'd have to fucking sell that thing. And brother, if the mall people are freaking out around me like, oh man, he's not gonna take it, like, just because he can't afford it, what? Shut up, bitch. Like, I ain't going down just for this fucking thing that, like, they didn't even ask for this. This was like out of like a good heart it should have been. So like, brother, like, if you can't, like, they can't handle it, that's like shit.
His home more.
This is why Mr. Beastie covers these areas. Like, he does this shit, but he actually like makes sure they can actually pay whatever they're actually getting into, which is good shit.
Mortgage and
like, this is something. Like, they straight build them a house they're not even asking for, and the house is nice, kind of. Like, the rooms look kind of whack, so tacky, but the house outside looks crazy. The new rooms, the new shinies, the new ball pit, woohoo, all that. One volume, lady. What's wrong with you? Holy, well, you get all that, and you're just expected to make it work when you weren't even making like the first thing work, or you were barely making the first thing work. Like, yeah, this is a nice gesture, but brother, I'm not going in the shit just because of your nice gesture. Like, I didn't even ask for it, and I got like, yo, like, this community gotta chill out.
new property
They gotta
taxes
chill
that
out.
tripled in price. "I feel bad because so
Like,
many
no
people
shot.
came together to help us," she said. "I know I shouldn't feel like I let them down, but I do." Many of the families
Oh man, that's so shit too, because like, man, she didn't ask for that. Like,
feel guilt
damn.
and shame that they couldn't live
She didn't ask for the home, and she didn't ask for these suckers to be like upset once she got rid of the home. Like, she.
happily ever after.
Man.
Most of them don't want to sell their houses, but the financial stress and family tragedy is overbearing. As the years went on, ABC scaled back their projects
That's just
because so
weird.
many homes were being foreclosed on. They eventually realized these over-the-top charity acts were too extreme to be truly helpful, but then their ratings dropped since the homes weren't extreme enough for TV, which led to the show being canceled in 2012. I also noticed that they only have a small selection of episodes available on Hulu today, and all of the families who went on to sell or get foreclosed on got their episodes removed from streaming services. It turns out when you find a broken family facing hardship and financial problems, build them an extremely oversized home with ugly interiors in the middle of a neighborhood surrounded by other homes not even worth half as much as the new one they just built, it ends up doing more harm than good.
True. Actually, I didn't even think of that. The places they're building these homes have a lot to do with that too. Because imagine trying to sell that big old white mansion in the neighborhood where the original one was.
Even more problem.
Like, you have this, and then you had this. Like, no shot, the house is close by. Look like this. Like, shit. It's gonna be hard to get rid of. It's gonna be hard to maintain. Like, brother, it's another double-ended sword. And then you got the community trying to jump on the sword. Like, you're not even on the sword. Like, you presented the sword, but, you know, chill out. Chill out.
Them to move.
It's just kind of odd. Very, very odd.